So we're just getting started now. It is ridiculously late, way later than we've ever left before. It's kind of scary, but we've got a good guide. You feeling confident, Tim?
I was until I almost fell in the water.
Yeah, that was fun. We didn't get that on video though. That's okay. We're gonna use our GPS enabled map and we're going to find out where we're going. There it is there. And we hear that some of the campsites close by that we're within a 15-minute paddle are all booked. So we're just gonna go a little bit further out and look for a campsite that's not booked or not filled and hopefully get settled before it's full dark. It's supposed to rain tonight a lot. So as we suspected, getting on the water that time of night was a really poor choice. So we knew that there were several campsites not far from where we put in. However, we also had the concern, which was realized, that all those sites would be full. So we paddled and there were people, and we paddled and there were people, and we paddled and there were people. And then it got dark within an hour or so of setting out, and we had to make a decision to make new friends. So that's what we did actually. So this is our setup now. We found a site. What we did was we found a site with other people. So they're very kind people. They had a campfire going when we got here and they welcomed us. And I said we had wine, so they were happy to have a glass of wine, and we sang songs, and we actually ended up passing a really good night. It was good here. And today we're just gonna hang around because it's raining. But we've got Tim setting up tarps to keep things dry. Unfortunately, what we also have here is really slippery rocks, and both Tim and Will had a fairly heavy fall last night, and they're gonna have bruises. We have rope access set though, so that'll help. Bye, friends! So since today's a rainy day, we're gonna get a little creative with our breakfast. We're gonna have smoothies. This is a peanut butter, banana, coconut cream smoothie, and it so happens that Tupperware makes a quick shake in the exact size we need to rehydrate the smoothie. This is what our morning looks like. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and we are getting ready for packing up today. We're going on the water. It's the tent is all, its contents are spewed everywhere because it's time to pack it up. So this is what our morning looks like. We've got cables and wires everywhere. We've got batteries charging. Fortunately, we've got the BioLite stove, which actually uses a USB charger to charge our battery. So that means we can charge our sight lights. It means we can charge our phones, which we're just using for cameras. And it means we can charge our headlamps. Over here is coffee prep because we're also boiling water for coffee while we're charging. There's all our coffee. There's our spark plug. And we've got some sausages cooking on the fire, and Will is the fire guy. And then I've got some pancakes ready to go on the griddle when that's done too. And then after that, it's just a matter of cleaning up and getting on the water. And we're anticipating that this paddle is not going to take us very long, only a couple of hours maybe. Goodbye, campsite. You were good. We made some friends. So today's Sunday, and it's our first real day on the water. And it's been a little stressful the past couple of days, but I feel like this is the first time we actually get to enjoy ourselves. That was Tim. Reese wave. And that's Will. Will.
Hello.
He is the quiet one. The scenery is absolutely beautiful here. And we've got a really good map, which makes it a good, accurate new map, which makes it much more enjoyable. Okay, so we've climbed up all this way. We heard that there was a couple of sites that had no thunderbox, so we need to make sure that we can get to one. But I've climbed up a goat track, and now we see, okay, let's see if I can get down there and not drop my phone. Okay, Tim, there's a blue dot behind you. Oh, look.
Here's the box.
Okay, now is there another way to get from the box to the site?
There is no path. I would have to hack through it.
Okay. So even though this site has a really good beach, we're going to check someplace else. Too bad though, this one's really pretty. But there's not much ugly going on here. It's all really pretty.
Go forward now.
Right? I think all these videos are just going to start with Will's butt, but we are on the way leaving what was really a decent site here. Had a nice little beach. We had a little campfire up there, and that we are here in this little dot. We're going to go out to the main channel, and then down here, out. We've got a portage there, and then out into Georgian Bay. And you notice the color of the route changes color. That's because it's an intermediate route, so that should be interesting. But in the meantime, we've got a beautiful view, and we're gonna paddle so nice and comfy and just enjoy our day. So we're about 15 minutes, 10 minutes into our paddle of the day, which we're expecting to be about 3 hours in total with a couple of portages. The first portages of our trip, actually, on day, whatever day we are. Are we on day 3? 4? Day 4. Our first, because we stayed 2 days in one site. So this is the main channel, and as you can see, the water's pretty flat. The sky is pretty gray. We're getting close to our portage, but we're not entirely sure where it is. And all we can see is rocks. And I know that Mackenzie would want to say, holy shit, there's rocks.
Not this way.
Unless it goes around at the end of this thing.
Oh yeah, so we're still like, can't go there. We're gonna turn around because that wasn't the right way to go. We are southbound on the French River, just before the portage where the logging ruins are. And it's just because we've never gone this way before that we don't really know. And these rocks, they're like icebergs. There's lots of rock under the surface, and we just have to be careful we don't go any place too shallow. So we're gonna go between those rocks there. Ooh, that was a shallow rock, and you hear the paddle hitting. Everybody's valuable on this trip. Tim steers the stern. Will is the engine and the eyeballs to make sure that we don't hit any rocks. And I'm a little princess.
Why I thought we could have come out.
Okay,
Instead of turning around.
could have come out that way. But I actually am doing the navigation, which could be a little scary. Okay, so we found the portage. We are now going, you can see on the map, we're now going to where the portage is. And in fact, you can see a sign here that says portage. So I think even for newbies, that's enough information. Well, we made it to our second and final portage of the day. This one we actually lifted the canoe over to, instead of emptying it all the way out and putting it over Tim's head. So the map says that it's 50 meters, but the sign says 40 meters. But all in all, it's not a difficult one, except for the creepy guys hiding in the woods. Creepy guy. And I was anxious about this portage because not knowing, and also being more familiar with the Algonquin Park portages, I was worried it was going to be quite difficult and scary to get around the waterfalls. But it actually was well signed once we were going the right direction, and not challenging at all to do. And there's our captain waiting for us. Down the steps. There's lots of loose rocks, so you've really got to have good footing. And I've got my old Vibram 5-fingered shoes, which are old now, and I'll be really sad when they're done. But they're so good at giving a nice grip for loose footing. So for some reason, there's even like a little dock here. But you waiting for me, Tim?
Yeah.
We just finished our second portage of the day, and we're about to go to the to Georgian Bay. It's stunningly beautiful. The sky is blue, the water's flat. We're paddling with the current. We did run into some paddlers who said that Georgian Bay is fairly flat and the wind isn't too bad, because that's the part I was worried about the most. But nice relaxed paddle. We had a little snack, granola bar, some water to get some energy. We've been paddling for about 2 hours and a half, I guess, by the time we made our pit stop and had a snack. We've been paddling about 45 minutes or so, and this is a leisurely paddle, to say the least. The water is flat, the sky is blue, and there's so much to see. So far we've been kind of in between rocky islands and rocky islands on the right of us, but we are just coming into the big Bay. This is the biggest waterway we've ever paddled on. It's pretty immense. And we are so grateful for this flat water today. The temperature's perfect. It's like, say, 23 degrees, light breeze. So this is site 713. We thought we would stay here for a couple days, but I feel like no. Let's just call this one a little rustic. So we did a quick tour up here of the site, and we saw what looked like a fire pit, and thought, well, there's grass in it, so that people must not be having many fires. But actually what it is, when you get closer, is a gravesite. So, not that, and the cute little, that's probably like a, oh yeah, looks like a Jesus and a Mary. So that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But there is no box here. And it's really beautiful. But there's no box here. And the fire pit is up on this rock. Across there, I don't know if you can see it, there was a forest fire a few years ago, and everything looks burnt out. I think we'll just get back in the canoe and paddle a bit more. We're just about around this final point, which is the southernmost point of like the French River Provincial Park. But what's crazy is once you get past that point, it is wide open. I have never paddled on such a giant body of water before. It's breathtaking, a little unnerving, and I keep having to actually look over here because it makes me a little bit more comfortable than looking way the hell out there. Well, we got a site. It's just after 6 o'clock on Monday. We visited 4 provincial park sites in the French River Provincial Park, and none of them were usable. 2 of them just didn't even exist anymore. So we kept going. We saw on the map, we're using Jeff's map, or it's called something else now, Unlostify. We're using Jeff's map, and he indicated that there was some crown land where people are camping, and so that's what we did. So this is our view. It's a little bit chaos right now. We pulled the canoe up. It's got no fire pit, so we are going to build one. There's plenty of rocks around. In fact, this is one big giant rock. The view is just, I have to walk around and show you just this lovely view. So it's just a really, really beautiful site. And we're going to explore down that channel there. It's a little bit chaotic right now. We've got a bunch of gear that we haven't yet found a home for, but we will. There's our tent. And we've called this the kitchen. We've called this the dining room. And then over there, that's, I guess, a secondary kitchen where we're cooking. So, it's going to, we haven't found the bathroom yet. I think Will is working on finding a bathroom or making a bathroom. Maybe he's just tired. Just tired, Will?
No, I was thinking of pooping here, but we're too close.
Okay. We're not doing that then. We're on day 5 of our 8-day trip, and just another beautiful scenery pick. But I wanted to kind of go over what we have left for food. We had a leak in our food barrel, so we've had to take everything out to rinse it off and let it dry. But we still have, what's today? Tuesday, so we have, is today Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, so we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 more nights of dinner. So we've got some dumplings to go with our chicken stew over there. We've got some baked beans. We've got lots of jerky left. We've got a burrito bowl in the back. We've got one more carton of our creamer that goes in our coffee, which is a definite must-have. Still got a couple of Tupperware with extra things in here. Egg powder, coconut milk powder, and fish crisp if Will catches fish today. Some Jello pudding. We're gonna make some backcountry tiramisu because we're fancy. But some ginger and shallots that need to dry out because they took the worst of the leak. But still lots of stuff left. Once this all dries, it goes back in the food barrel, and this is 4 more days of food. Oh, and I'm not showing you the wine bag because that's someplace else.
It's a little one.
We're just doing some drifting and some fishing, and the goal is to enjoy our day, but the goal is to see if we can get to the Pickerel River a different way than the map suggests we do, which would involve us doubling back. We made the decision to head out tomorrow, Wednesday, instead of Thursday, because there's some bad weather in the forecast with a lot of winds, and you don't really want to be, at least I don't think you want to be on Georgian Bay in high winds. So we're going to head back to the 600 region zone of the park. We're not in the park right now at all. We're on mainly Crown land, but it's absolutely beautiful here. Looks like it may be Beaver Dam sort of thing. The water levels are a bit higher.
Fish on.
Oh. How convenient for you to catch a fish while I'm taking a video.
And I lost
Oh, I'm sure he got another fish. The wind is, woo! Splashed me. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He doesn't want me to touch him. Are you able to hold him up? Ooh, bumped his head. That's awesome.
Good size fish.
How big would you say he is?
That's about a 3-pound bass.
Cool.
Smallmouth. I would have expected largemouth in here. But
That's awesome. Hi, fishy.
maybe a 2-pound. No more than 2 pounds.
Oh, yeah. What?
Rocks.
Oh, shit. Shit. Yeah, we don't like to do that with our brand new canoe, but
That's a pig.
Oh, that's a big one.
oh yeah, that's a nice one.
Yep.
How big do you think that one is?
That one's at least 3 pounds.
And it's a large, small.
Looks like a largemouth.
Bet you the guys who were just here in their boat would have wished that they'd caught this one. Beauty. Good job. We're just packing up this morning. We stayed 2 nights in this site on Crown land, and we're going to be heading back into French River Provincial Park. We're just getting the last little bits of things away. The tent is going away. The last little bit of dishes are getting done. Me, am I getting ready? Why, no, I'm not, because what I'm doing is taking pictures of my knitting. But look at that. So proud of this sweater, and this is what I do while we're camping. This is what my nanny would have done if she would have been camping. So I'll finish this up and then I'll help other people pack because we got to get going. We're getting to a narrower branch of the Pickerel River. We're going to make a right to Bowen's Bay, I think it is. I think this is it right here, actually. But you can see the remnants of a forest fire that took up 112 square kilometers back in 2018. It looks so desolate, actually, paddling past it. On both sides, you can see the remnants of the fire up there. Nature's pretty powerful. One of the challenges of paddling in a park that doesn't have a lot of traffic is that you don't always know where you're going to get a site. We just went into a small bay where site 702 was, and we had to paddle, 5 minutes or so. We saw there was somebody on the site, and now we have to get back in the river, which actually is really narrow. This is a really cool rock though. It's kind of square. So we've got our eyes peeled to make sure we can get through here. We did go on a rock early on in the first channel we were on. So we've reached the first of our unmarked portages. This one is indicated on Jeff's map as a 10-meter portage, and it looks like it's just this spot right here. I mean, It's really incredibly beautiful, but also a little nerve-wracking trying to think how we're going to get through here. So what we're thinking now is to clear some of this debris, which is mostly branches on top of some silt and probably some rocks down there. And then the idea is we're going to line the canoe with a rope on either end of the canoe and someone sitting in the middle of the canoe. And then we go down there, and then we turn a corner, and then we're on another portage.
Push her off.
Be careful.
Push, paddle a bit, Bonnie, forward. That's it.
Back into the boat.
You're good.
Can't push it away.
You're good. But I can pull the
Awesome.
front end around.
Right, you're gonna have to get off of that rock, Bill.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Bonnie, paddle.
Paddle?
That's good.
Oh, it's gonna hit there.
Oh, paddle, paddle, paddle. Okay, pull it in, Will.
Pull it in, Will.
Well, I'm trying to make sure you float around the back rock.
Oh, that's... Okay. Okay.
Go, Tim. Paddle a bit
I'm
forward,
just trying
Bonnie.
to pull the back
I don't
end
want to
in.
paddle. I think you need to pull that rope in. And we need to go slowly down this.
Back in.
Okay. Oh, I'm on rocks here.
Well done, Bonnie. Well done.
Thank you.
Pull your back end in, Tim.
Not too much. There's rocks here.
Yeah, I know.
It's pushing me pretty hard.
Yep. Don't push too hard because you're going to push into the branches on the far side.
I'm not worried about the branches. I'm worried more about the rock. Okay. Well. So here we were thinking that the first portage was a big challenge, but now we're at what they're calling portage number 2. On the map it's showing as an unmarked portage, and I would agree with that assessment. It is a portage of some sort, but I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do here. So we can't get the boat through here. That is like a puddle. It looks like this used to all be underwater, but it's not now. Tim found a route up and around, but even then we got to go up and all the way around up there, and then kind of up there is the water. There's lots of dead trees. We're still in the forest fire zone, so it's not a very easy to navigate trail. So this should be interesting. We'll think about it for a bit. This is the old-fashioned portage here. Put the backpacks on. There will be no lifting. There will be no lining. There will be no poling. This is straight up over the hill. Muscles. This is the second portion of the portage that we didn't know was coming. We were also incredibly demoralized by this point. Will had climbed up on a ridge to figure out why we couldn't get past the rocks, and he found, almost by accident, a set of orange flags that allowed us to follow the top of this ridge. We made several trips. It wasn't long, but because of the forest fire, it was really hard to get through. And there was a fair bit of cliff climbing. This was probably the most difficult part of the day because it was already past 6 p.m. and we knew that we had to find a site for the evening and that rain was coming in. Even though the sky is so blue, we knew that bad weather was coming. We just made it through a series of absolutely heinous portages, and we're back on the water, but it's still very, very narrow ahead, and we just have to have lots of hope that we're going to get through. We got to watch for rocks. We are all exhausted, starving at 7 o'clock at night, more than a little bit demoralized, and I don't know about the rest of the people here, but I'm still...
Keep right, Tim. It's very narrow.
Stay right. Watch your... Yeah. Will's job is to bat rocks on both sides. Holy shit. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Here we go. We made it.
As you can see, we're still in the burn zone of the fire, the big forest fire. It has been, I think that's probably been demoralizing too. It's just nothing is green and beautiful. Everything is burned out and dead, and it's hard emotionally, I think. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm really tired. Like it's tiring right now. We had just a little bit of jerky and dried fruit for lunch, and that was about 5 hours ago. So we really need to find a site, and we were congratulating ourselves for the 10-meter portage and how well we did it, and a little did we know that it got even harder. Looks like we're getting to some open water up ahead. Well, I am hopeful that we are almost done for the day because I need to set up camp and get my stinky wet shoes off. We are all stinky, we are all wet, we're all starving, but I would say that we worked incredibly well as a team. We all kept it together.
This is slippery here.
We're dealing with some exhausted people here. We got a site and the sun has already set. So this is what it is.
I think that flat rock over there, Tim, would have been better. But...
Do you want to back up?
Or just back up a bit right here.
Now we got to get poor Tim out of the boat. Tim's a rock star. I know. We'll get the gear out. We'll get the Tim out. And soon we'll be feeling a lot better. We went through a lot today. We paddled about 20 kilometers. And the portages, we're just not even ready to talk about that yet. We're just packing up from site 632. The wind is up. We knew it was going to be windy, gusts 40 kilometers an hour today, and it looks like it's going to rain, but I mean not as bad as it did about an hour ago. We actually had our fastest pack up time on this trip, probably because we were more worried about the rain than anything else. This is our gear ready to go into the canoe. And I think it's going to be for the last time on this trip. We, what do you think, Will?
I think we're making an executive decision, and we're calling it.
Yeah, it's not that it's...
We want to end on a high note.
Yes,
As
exactly.
opposed to wet, miserable note.
They're calling for rain for the next couple of days, so I think that we're just gonna... Actually, I think we're gonna hit a hotel in Parry Sound and not quite go home yet because we're not ready to go home. We want to process yesterday's experience and get a little bit of a rest before we head back and jump right back into the work day. Let's just hope that the wind stays at our back and that we have one final good paddle. It looks like it's only going to be about an hour and a half until we get to the car. Well, in hindsight, we probably should have gotten off the water or gotten onto the water an hour earlier because we made it to the main bay. We just have to go around to the right around a point, but we just can't. We just can't. The wind is just too much and the waves are massive. The image stabilization of the video won't show it, but the waves are just massive. We pulled into a cottager's dock and we're trying to figure out the next steps. Well, we made the decision to get out of the water, and I am so grateful. The storm that's coming is really quite intense, but I don't think it should last long. Either way, we've made it to a cottage, and we're so grateful that the cottager has welcomed us to come in. Yep. Pretty grateful for land right now. We're just flipping the canoe over and leaving it there for a while. You can see that they are struggling to stay upright in this wind. And then we'll bring all our gear up too and we'll just wait it out. Well, we decided that ego was not going to play any part in our day, and we met some amazing cottagers who have a big boat with a big motor that's coming in.
See, if you made it to here, you'd have been fine going through here.
We loaded up all our gear.